Hello guys, welcome to another video. Like always, the link to the original post will be in the description. And that being said, let's get into the video. Son of the Sannin, Part 6 and Chapter 6. The Butterfly Effect. Or do you believe in fate? Jiraiya was as timely as usual to his meeting with the Hokage regarding the QB attack investigation. However, there was something different this time. The first, less notable difference is that Jiraiya had a look of extreme excitement on his face that was good, as it meant that Jiraiya had made some important breakthrough in his research, which might explain the second, more noticeable difference: Inoichi Yamanaka and Anko Mitarashi walking behind him. I got it, Sensei, Jiraiya claimed enthusiastically. I got the definite proof that will exonerate the Uchiha and expose the real culprit behind the QB attack. Those are indeed excellent news. Jiraiya not only will finally be able to put an end to Danzo's suspicion of the clan, but we will also close Konoha's darkest chapter. Sarutobi replied as he gave a puff to his uncle. Show him the report. Jiraiya instructed. Anko nodded and handed the Hokage a folder with several files inside. Hiruzen inspected the files, and as he did, his good mood slowly vanished while his expression grew somber. He looked at Jiraiya with a grave expression. So you think that the particular of the QB attack was culprit of the prefecture of the QB attack was Orochimaru? Listen, Hokage-sama, I know it sounds perfect, but when you put all the evidence together, it makes perfect sense. Uncle Humbert to explain. Uh, enlightened me then. Enlightened, enlightened me then. Jiraiya cleared his throat and began his explanation. I've been investigating that shady mercenary group Akatsuki from the past 4 years. Like I told you before, they were interested in the tailed beast and not often recruited missing ninja to their ranks, and guess who was among them? The snake bastard himself, Jiraiya-sama, brought a no-name missing ninja to torture and interrogate a couple months ago. My team and I have been scanning his mind and made interesting discovery. Inoichi uh, intercepted. The first one, as Jiraiya said, was that Orochimaru is part of the Akatsuki. I could see many memories of Orochimaru not only wearing the organization's uniform and black cloak with the red clouds, but having meeting with the other members, though he never met more than one at once. The second one was that Orochimaru is creating his own ninja village somewhere called Otakakure or something. Anko added, I think we should find and deal with that village as soon as possible before it snowballs into a bigger problem. While discovery are indeed worrying, I fail to see the connection between Orochimaru and the Kyuubi. Sarutobi pinpointed, don't you see, Sensei? It's obvious that Orochimaru was a member of the Akatsuki before he defected from Konoha. Besides his own ambition, he wanted to be the Hokage in order to increase Akatsuki's resources and had access to the QB, but things didn't go as he planned. He defected, and a year later, when the seal on the QB was at its weakest, returned. Snake his way to the place she was being kept, kills the guards, takes her away, and releases the QB. Anko decided to intersect. Think about it, Hokage-sama. Orochimaru was was the perfect man for the job. He is a very good infiltrator, known Konohani and inner ins and outs better than anybody else, and is strong enough to deal with even the strongest of our Anbu. After destroying Konoha, he would have handed the Kyuubi to the Akatsuki and thus killed two birds with one stone. But once again, he didn't count on Minato's interference, who more than likely defeated him and then slipped the Kyuubi inside Naruto for fouling his plans. And now he is building his own village in order to raise an army to try to destroy Konoha and reclaim the Kyuubi again. While those are believable motives, there's still the mystery on how Orochimaru managed to place the Kyuubi under his control. It is well known that normal genjutsu, no matter how powerful, hardly works on a tailed beast, and and the only two men being able to control them were Hashirama Sensei and Madara Ninja of on a legend way above Orochimaru's. It is well, it is well known that Orochimaru was experimenting with Hashirama's cell, and we know that he produced at least one successful in the form of Tenzo. What if that ass had finally perfected the procedure and gained the first Hokage's power? Anko suggested a terrifying thought, but unlikely. Unlikely, if Orochimaru had Hashirama Sensei's power for so long, he would have used it against us already. The third stated, while all of you made an commendable effort, I am afraid that this wouldn't be enough to publicly place the Uchiha clan above suspicion. Anko muttered a curse under her breath, while Jiraiya looked downwards, upset. Inojichi remained neutral. But you made a good job with this investigation. This Kotakakure is something that deserves further investigation. Inoichi, you and the rest of the T and I should continue extracting all the information you can regarding this issue from the captive. I want daily updates on this. Yes, Hokage-sama, Ichi, and Anko said in sequence, and they left the office. Jiraiya, we only need one more piece to finish the puzzle. The means used to control the Kyuubi. If you only uncover that, then the investigation will be complete, and we can pin Orochimaru as the main culprit of the attack. I will, Sensei. I am not going to stop now that we are so close to end this. Jiraiya started. Meanwhile, I will use the information we have gathered to discourage Danzo from stop bothering the Uchiha clan. You are dismissed. One more thing, Sensei, Jiraiya mentioned. My investigation of the Akatsuki and the Jinchuriki had me find something interesting discovery tailored to the investigation. And what would that be? Suna had created a Jinchuriki. Hiruzen raised an eyebrow. Do you have any information? Yes. His name is Gara. He is the youngest son of the current Kazekage. He seems that he is doing his best to keep Gara's status a secret, but the boy is having a lot of trouble keeping the tale at least under control. And such things can be concealed easily. My guess the result of a sloppy seeking process. Plus, there's the fact that we are only learning about this now. Only Kami knows how long that kid's been a Jinchuriki. More worrying news. I knew that Suna had the one tail in their powers, but but it wasn't sealed on a person. If they decided to create a Jinchuriki now, I don't want to think about the implications. We know that Sunakakure is the weakest of the five elemental villages. Maybe they decided to put their tail beast to use in order to appear strong to both potential enemies and clients. Even then, that's something we cannot afford to overlook. Joraya, I am going to prepare a treat for you sooner. Once everything is settled, you will expect the tragedy and uncover the reason behind his creation. Suna is our ally, and I would hate to think that they are plotting against us. But you can't never be too cautious. Understood, Sensei? Fire release. Great fireball jutsu. Soon Shizune jumped in to avoid the incoming fireball, which exploded against a ground a couple meters in front of her. Her opponent was a 11-year-old of average height with dull black hair, with a ponytail and black eyes, wearing the Konoha tuning black jacket over his usual black black shirt. Said opponent took advantage of the dust raised by the fire by his fire and dashed at her at ungodly speed. Two kunai clashed against each other multiple times, filling the air with sharp metallic noises. Shizune leaped backwards, and while she was mid-air, fired a barrage of sandbones at her opponent from the wrist-mounted needle launcher. Said opponent also jumped backward to avoid them and used a kamui uh, kunai to extremely deflect the ones he couldn't dodge. Once Shizune touched the ground, she was alerted by the sound of spinning spinning shuriken flying at her. The shuriken hit the target, but the young medic ninja vanished in a pool of smoke, leaving a log behind. Upon closer, he ejected his weapon from the. After retrieving his weapons from the log, Shizune's much younger opponent looked around, trying to locate his enemy. His ear pricked a sharp whistle that side and incoming barrage of Senbon. Activating his Sharingan, the medic ninja threw a few Senbons in the air, which clashed against the Senbons, stopping their movement and the mountain and making them fall onto the ground. Shizune suddenly appeared behind the Uchiha, quickly forming a series of seals. Water release, water wall. Shizune's cheeks puffed and she exploded from her mouth a large amount of water at the Uchiha, who suddenly burst into a murder of crow flying in different directions. Shizune suddenly formed his hand seals and shouted, "Release!" making the crows dispel. Knowing where her opponent was, she quickly turned around while saving a high kick. Uh, Delivering a high kick which was paired by her opponent's arm. From there, the medic ninja and the Uchiha tried punching and traded punches and kicks until Shizune made the Uchiha trip. The black-haired woman quickly pinned the boy to the ground, carefully avoiding eye contact. I think this is over, Shizune declared, placing a kunai on the Uchiha's throat. I guess it is. Her opponent concluded. Shizune put the kunai back on her pouch and helped her opponent to stand. Nice bar, Itachi-kun. Thank you, Shizune-san. This time I managed to stay 5 minutes without using the Shoringan, Itachi said proudly. I'm sure it will be 10 minutes next time, the medic ninja said, smiling. Eh, I am not sure. I still can beat you even with with the Sharingan. No, but you will. You are improving at a very fast pace, which shouldn't be a surprise given how you quickly managed to earn a promotion. I'm sure you will be a Jonin before I do. Way before I do. Yeah, Itachi seriously said. rubbing the back of his neck. Plus, I can tell that today you weren't entirely focused, really, because I thought I was focused as ever. Itachi-kun, you cannot lie to me. I can see that there's something troubling you. Care to tell me what it is? Shizune's question was met with silence as the Uchiha protege looked at the grass below and sat down. Shizune started to feel bad for pressing him to talk about something he really wasn't comfortable with. She sat beside him. Sorry, Itachi-kun, it wasn't my place to ask if it's something for personal nature. Shizune-san, did somebody you love ever forced you to do something you don't want to? Itachi asked. Shizune was taken back by such an question and wondered if Itachi had some problem with his parents. Well, no, I'm lucky such thing never happened to me. Well, it's that Itachi stuttered a bit. He never talked about this with anybody else, not even Shishui, his cousin and closest friend. But then again, there was something about Shizune and her generally friendly demeanor that made him more comfortable to talk about personal matters. My parents, they want me to join Anbu. And you don't want to? Shizune responded. Exactly, I know the kind of missions the Anbu do, and I don't want to do that, at least not yet. While that was technically true, Itachi pronounced he left out the other, much more meaningful reason of him not wanting to join the Anbu. Well, I would say that the Anbu would greatly beneficial for somebody of your talent. Itachi-kun, I'm sure you will promoted to a squad captain in no time. Shizune replied, making Itachi sigh. Then again, if that's not what you want to do, do you have any other idea? Well, I was planning that after being promoted to join, I would ask for a squad of genin to train. I always liked the idea of being a teacher. Well, not an academy teacher, but a field teacher. You know what I mean? Yes, of course. In fact, I think I might not do the same one. I think I might do the same once I am promoted. I'm sure you will be an amazing teacher, Shizune-san. And about your problem, well, I don't know what else to tell you other than talk to your parents and make sure they know how you feel. If they really love you, and then I am sure they will do, and I am sure they do. And I'm sure they will understand you and let you choose your own path. They spent a couple of minutes there silently sitting beside each other. A gentle breeze started to blow. Well, I don't know if it will work, but I will try to work with them. Thanks for the advice, Shizune-san, Itachi said as he stood up. You are welcome, Itachi-kun. Same hour tomorrow? I'm afraid not. I have been assigned on a mission outside the village. Ah, nuts. Now where am I going to find a worthy sparring opponent that doesn't leave me all sore? Seriously, never spar with Tsunade-sama. That woman never holds back, not even with her children. Itachi chuckled. Well, she's the best medic in the world, right? She doesn't hold back because she will patch you up afterwards. Anyways, I better get going. See ya, Itachi said as we headed back to the Uchiha compound. Meanwhile, the firstborn of another clan had returned to her home as well. Hinata Hyuga was still smiling upon remembering the heated argument between Naruto and the history teacher regarding the second ninja war. Naruto insisted that the information on their book was wrong, since he claimed his parents were veterans of veterans from State War, and their version of certain battle clashed with the textbook description. Hinata had the feeling that the Sannin, while un- undoubtedly skilled and powerful, had ex- uh, exaggerated exaggerated their contribution during said war. Still, there was something hit heartwarming of seeing Naruto defending her parents' reputation also valiantly. The Hinata was now regathering, not regretting not talking to Naruto sooner. After that afternoon in the park, Naruto sat beside her instead of his usual seat near the Uchiha Sasuke seat near Sasuke Uchiha. Though while she enjoys his company most of the time, Naruto had an habit of loudly disturbing the class when the lesson failed to catch his interest, which would be kind of annoying. One day, Hinata politely asked Naruto to stop interrupting the teacher when he was explaining the basis of chakra control. Apparently, Naruto already knew that already and wanted to do something else. She was afraid that Naruto would take her request as some sort of betrayal and would uh, chase their chase their friendship. But his reaction surprised her. What? Oh, sorry, Hinata. I didn't know you are so interested in this. I will shut up now. He said heavily replied. Everybody was stunned at the Hyuga's amazing feat of convincing the hyperactive blonde to remain silent. The teacher called it a miracle. Now, whenever Naruto didn't feel like listening, the teacher he often followed Shikamaru's example and took a nap instead. Unlike Shikamaru, there was time in which Naruto could snore loudly, prompting the teacher to throw the board rubber rubber at him, boards chalk at him. After class, Naruto and Hinata often went to the park to play together. People would murmur upon seeing the demon boy playing with the Hyuga Yaras, but neither paid any heed to those people. They were too busy having fun. Other times Naruto would invite Hinata to his house. Whenever she went, they usually played with Naruto's 2-year-old siblings, Hagina, Hagina and Kaida. Hinata thought that maybe one day she would bring Hanabi to play with them, given that they were only a year older than her. Unless the four of them were under Jiraiya or Shizune's watch, Tsunade would arrive much later once her shift at the hospital was over. The three of them were always really kind of loyal to her and made their best to make her feel welcome. Moreover, however, today was one of those days. Naruto had his mother for some training at the training ground 3, their usual training spot. So, finding herself with nothing better to do, Hinata decided to head back home and maybe spend some quality time with Hanabi until her father called her for gentle peace training. Hinata realized that from all the times she had been in Naruto's house, she never asked him to visit hers. Then again, her friendship with Naruto was a secret to pretty much all of her clan. She was still thinking how to tell her father and its father that she had befriended the demon boy. Everybody feared and avoided a nasty surprise awaited the little Hyuga though. Upon entering the compound, she found it oddly deserted. No Hyuga youths training, no branch house patrolling the place. She had a bad feeling about that. After dropping her backpack and removing her shoes at the entrance, she started calling for her parents or nobody or anybody else. Finally, she found another clansman, Ko Hyuga, Ko Hyuga, a main house member who was his usual caretaker. A main house member who was his usual caretaker, her usual caretaker whenever her parents were busy. Oh, Hinata-sama, I see you are back. Ko somebody greeted the Hyuga Yaris. What's going on, Ko-san? Where's everybody? Hinata asked worried. Hinata-sama, something bad has happened to your mother. Ko began. Hinata's skin turned even pale. Mother? What happened to mother? The Hinata panicked. Grabbed her hands and led her towards her parents' bedroom, where most of the Hyuga, both main and branch house, were awaiting outside. After giving birth to Hanabi, Hinata's mother wasn't the same again. Her body was often in pain, ate very little, and more often than not would end up throwing up. And after prematurely exhausted, uh, they had called a doctor before, which prescribed her some medicine. They appeared to work at first, but after that the symptoms returned and became even worse each day. Hinata was afraid that someday like this would happen anytime soon. You know, Hikari-sama, Hikari-sama has felt really bad these past months. It appears that she got even worse. Hiyashi-sama called the family medic in order to check her. We can only wait to see what he can do. They didn't have to wait until they heard Hiyashi's anger and desperate yells. What do you mean that you did all what you could? There has to be something you can do to save her. I already told you, Hiyashi-sama, the symptoms are too advanced. You should have called me earlier than this. We already called you once. You made your the medicine didn't do anything to her to get her better. I'm sorry, Hiyashi-sama, but I did all what I could, and I prescribed you some painkillers to make your wife more um, last days more bearable. Get out of my sight! Yashi vowed. Lord, the medic left, and the gathering of Hyuga started to mumble among themselves. Hinata was on the verge of tears. You must remain strong here, Hinata-sama. Is what Hikari-sama would have wanted, Ko said, who was also fighting tears. Hinata felt her world falling apart. No, this was too cruel. Now what things were finally going better. Now that things were finally going better for her, she had to lose her mother, all because that doctor couldn't see that her state of health was way worse than he intensely thought. If Tsunade had treated her mother, then wait, that's it. That was it. What about Tsunade-sama? Can we call her to check Mother? Hinata asked. We already looked for her. She wasn't at the hospital, and there was nobody in her residence. We don't know where she is right now. Hinata's face saddened upon hearing her mother's last hope of desperation until she remembered why Tsunade wasn't on the hospital nor her house. Kosan, I know where Tsunade-sama is. Hinata exclaimed in realization. You do? Yes, come on, let's hurry up. On training ground 3, Naruto was laying on the grass, panting heavily with bruises all over his body. Every centimeter of his body was in horrible pain. Come on, Brad, get up. We haven't finished the warm-up. Tsunade vigorously shouted as she lightly kicked him on the side. Can you please turn down the brutality a little bit? Please, Naruto said between gaps. When you become a ninja and go out on the village, you will find enemies that will try to kill you and wouldn't hold back. So answer me, why should I hold back then? I would be a bad teacher if I didn't prepare you properly. Tsunade explained, hand on her hips and stared at Naruto. I would like to stand up, but I can't feel my legs or my anything. Naruto swore that he could never call Jiraiya's. Naruto swore that he would never call Jiraiya's meditation and chakra control exercise boring again. meditation and chakra control exercise boring again. Tsunade sighed and rolled her eyes. She coughed before Naruto and placed a hand on his chest, which started to glow with a green light. Soon a pleasant feeling started to cross his body, slowly but surely erasing the pain. While the pain didn't dispel completely, it diminished enough to be bearable. You're such a wimp, you know. What would the fourth think if he saw you complaining like that over a little rough training? You wouldn't be, you won't become Hokage anytime soon if you don't build some pain tolerance. Tsunade called as she healed him. Better now, kids. Yeah, thanks, mom. Don't expect me to go this easy on you all the time. Okay, let's continue. Get in the taijutsu basic stance and try to dodge my Naruto-kun. A high-pitched voice yelled. Both Naruto and Tsunade turned towards the source of the voice and saw Hinata and adult Hyuga running towards them. Oh, hey Hinata, nice to see you. Did you come to spar with mom and me? Naruto asked, grinning at the idea. Both Hinata and unknown Hyuga stopped to gasp for air. They were both completely red and sweating, as if they were running non-stop for quite some time. Both Hinata and the unknown Hyuga stopped to gasp for air. They were both completely red and sweaty, as if they have been running non-stop for quite some time. Tsunade-sama, you have to come with us. It's an emergency. The adult Hyuga bailed. Hey, calm down. What's going on? Tsunade asked. It's my mother. She's very sick, and our usual doctor can't do anything to make her better. Hinata explained, almost on the verge of tears. Naruto gasped in horror and turned to Tsunade. Mom, you have to help Hinata, please. Alright. Just let me go to my house first to get my medical instruments and medicines. Tsunade said. Soon it became night time. Upon arriving, Tsunade pretty much kicked Hiyashi out of the bedroom since she didn't want an audience when treating patients in a critical condition and spend there the following hours. That didn't stop the Hyuga head as well as many other clansmen to gather in front of the closed door. Hinata was sitting in the hallway near the bedroom, with Naruto sat at her side, trying to comfort her to the best of his ability. Mom is the best medic there is. She will heal your mom in no time. You will see. Hinata didn't say anything, just nodded and prayed to whatever deity is out there for her mother to get out of this alive. Hinata then realized something. This was the first time Naruto was in his house. Besides that, now all the Hyuga clan, her father included, knew that she was friends with Naruto, but none of that mattered for her anymore. Her mother was the only thing on her mind right now. Finally, after several hours that felt like days, an exhausted Tsunade exited the bedroom. She was immediately swarmed by nervous Hyugas. A glance was enough to make them keep some peace. Alright, I have good news and bad news. What do you want to hear first? Tsunade asked. My Oid is out of danger now. She is alive. Your what do you want to hear first? Tsunade asked. The good news. Hiyashi replied, trying his best to console his desperation. Your wife is out of danger now. She will live. A chore of relief sighed uh, relieve the place. Hiyashi being the most audible. See, Hinata, your mom is going to be okay, Naruto said, and equally relieved Hinata. She is very weak right now, but if you follow my instructions, she will be fine in a few months, Tsunade added. And the bad news, Hiyashi asked. Her uterus was badly her uterus was beyond repair. She won't have any more children again. Tsunade announced. Her statement was followed by several murmurs. If she is going to be, or is she, if she is going to be okay, then that doesn't matter. Yashi, your wife was afflicted by an infection, disease that I tracked back to her uterus. It was in a very advanced stage. 2 days later, and she would had been beyond saving. Was there any complication when she gave birth to your youngest daughter? Yes, there were, but the doctor said that she would be fine. Here she proclaimed. Ev- uh, those events those doctors missed something. Anyways, there's no point in feathering or farting over that. I will come here every week to check her progress. If I can't come for whatever reason Shizune will come in my place. Now, what is what now, this is what your wife must do if she wants to recover. After Tsunade finished her explanation, she and Naruto were escorted to the compound's main gate. It was late and treating Hikari for so long had Tsunade left utterly exhausted. She prayed Jiraiya wasn't in the mood for naughty time. Oh, oh, who was she kidding? That horny ass was always in the mood for naughty stuff. Oh well, at least she had very good excuse to put him down. In the name of the entire Hyuga clan, I thank you. Tsunade-sama, what you just did today will never be forgotten, Hiyashi somberly said as he bowed before Tsunade. Yes, thank you. Tsunade-sama, Hinata encouraged as she bowed as well. It's okay. I was just doing my job. Besides, our kids are friends, right? Tsunade said with a chuckle. Then she yawned. Boy, after that, I feel like I could sleep for a whole week. Let's hope there's no emergency tomorrow at the hospital. Come on, Brad. It's way past your bedtime. Coming. See you tomorrow, Hinata. Naruto chimed as he waved at her. Come on, Hinata, you should be in bed already too. Hiyashi started as he led his daughter inside. Can I see mother first? Hinata asked. Hinata, your mother needs to rest now. You can see her tomorrow morning. Alright, Hinata concluded, a bit disappointed after all that happened that had happened. She wanted to see that her mother was okay with her own eyes, but she knew that her father was right. By the way, you didn't tell me you were friends with that kid. Hiyashi nodded in an oddly natured tone. Sorry, father. It's that Hinata started, unable to form a coherent sentence. Why are you afraid that I won't let you be friends with the boy holding the nine tails within him? Hiyashi asked. Hinata nodded. Other parents tell their kids to stay away from Naruto, and I thought that you. I only would have forbidden such a thing if the boy proved to be a bad influence on you. And from the time and for the time being, it doesn't seem to be the case. So you're okay with him you're okay with him being my friend, as long as he doesn't give me any reason to mistrust him and behave properly. Yes, and I will let this time pass. But I don't want you to keep any secrets from me again. Understood? Hiyashi started cynically. Hinata nodded. The little Hyuga sighed in relief. Not only she didn't lose her mother, but her friendship with Naruto was safe for the time being. Wouldn't have any problem sleeping tonight. Meanwhile, Hiyashi couldn't stop thinking about Naruto. and how his presence had afflicted his family. If it wasn't for him, neither Jiraiya nor Tsunade would have been back to Konoha, and thus the Hokage would have never attempted to intimate the Raikage, and Hiyashi would have ended up killing himself to Hizashi. Hizashi would have ended up killing himself to protect Kumagakure. And then there was his wife, who would have been dead right now if it wasn't for Tsunade, as well as the fact that her daughter had recently befriended her adopted son. Then again, he wondered if he would really have allowed Hinata to befriend that boy before. Now he wouldn't make an unwritten opinion on Naruto, given that he owes he owed him his wife's life. He never thought much about that boy, and the idea of Hinata becoming his friend never crossed his mind, not even once. While the was one of the most traditionalist clan of Konoha, Hiyashi wasn't a super mystic man, super superstitious man. He had heard many people say, even those among his clan, that Naruto would only bring bad luck and misfortune to whom a superstitious man. He had only heard many people say, even those among his clan, that Naruto would only bring bad luck and misfortune to whoever was near him. Sure, the risk of the Nine Tails coming out was very real, regardless for how small it was. But Naruto being a bringer of bad luck was just ridiculous. But now it seemed that the opposite was true. Naruto's presence had saved the lives of two of his closest and most beloved people, on top of being his daughter's friend and only first and only friend. And while her presence is mastering the gentle fist was going at a far slower rate than he would have wished. In mastering and while her progress in mastering the gentle fist step was going at a far slower pace than he would have wished, maybe he could convince Naruto to let her join him on his training with the Sannin. But for some reason, Hiyashi couldn't shake the thought that all this good fortune had a price tag attached to it, and that one day somebody would ask him to pay. That's all for this part. If you want to be notified for future parts and other fan fiction reading, then the best way is by subscribing. And yeah, I have a Discord server, and the link to it will be in the description. If you want, you can come and join and talk with me. But yeah, that's all for this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.